We are back up at Dick Lovett today, and I tell you what, I think for 2025 we have got an absolutely fantastic lineup. Today we're taking out the BMW R 1300R, and honestly I took out the 1250 last year. I think this is an underrated and forgotten naked bike. It's a powerhouse, and to see how well it handles, there's only one way. We've got to go take it out for a ride. This is the first time that the 1300 engine has been put in this platform. And looking at the stats, looking at the numbers, and you know and true. How the fuck did you get out of here? Honestly, this place has changed so much, I didn't know how to get out. It's right, we're out. Stop panicking. So yeah, we know the 1300 engine is impressive because we've tested out the 1300 GS, the 1300 GSA, but this is my first time on a 1300 in a platform bike that isn't a big adventure style. Now numbers, we're still hitting up the same 145 brake and 149 Nm torque, but when I took this out last year I really enjoyed it, so I've got good hopes to enjoying this bike again today. Now with the R lineup, same with quite a few of the BMW bikes for this year, there's 3 different model lines you can have. You can have the cheapest R1300R. You can then go to the middle, which for me personally is what most people would go for, and that is the R1300 SE. SE for me is where you get all the kind of creature comforts and the niceties added on for a little bit more price, but it's kind of where you want your base bike to be. And then lastly is the R1300R SE ASA, which is obviously the automatic gearbox BMW have got. This is not, this is just the SE version. Now this SE line is going to set you back £15,500, but like I said, if you are looking at the R, this is the one you want, unless you want auto, but let's face it, who wants auto? Auto will have a place on the big heavy touring style bikes. On a bike like this that you want to have a bit of fun, auto's not for me. Little stint on the motorway, obviously no fairing whatsoever, typical naked style bike, but you know what, I actually don't mind that. It means you get a nice clean air zone, no strange buffeting on the helmet or on the body, and yeah, it's a typical wind. Like, yes, there is some, no, it's not too bad. Now if you can see that large green car on the lines at the bottom right hand corner of the screen, that's because this has got not only cruise control, but it's got the ACC, so the automated or the assisted cruise control, basically where it keeps the certain distance between you and the vehicle ahead, so it does have a radar unit at the front. Something, if you are doing a lot of touring, will come in handy, so you can just set it to your 70 and then just sit back. People pull in, bike slows down. So on the motorway where you don't really have much chance kind of moving your body around because you're on the twisties, riding position, it's very comfortable. I'm 6'1", and there's hardly any weight on my wrist at all. Like, just, you are in a slightly leant forward position, but there's no weight on the wrist, which is that kind of perfect position for it to be. Enough room on the pegs for me to move my feet around so I can get some blood flow in them. But again, like, a really comfortable riding position. My knees have a nice bend to them. Yeah, just overall, you could do some miles on this. Now looking at some of the electronics then, we've got LEDs all round as we come to expect nowadays. We've got a nice large TFT screen, coloured, which this is kind of the minimum you will find on the BMWs nowadays. We've got electronic suspension, which we can change between dynamic and road, and they are upside down telescopic forks. Coming back from that, we do have, I believe it's the touring pack on this bike, which means we have got the GPS bracket ready. We've got different rider modes of Eco, Rain, Road and Dynamic. Fucking hell. Wanker. Wasn't indicating and I was in the correct lane. But yeah, DPD, blame me. Good one. Anyway, moving on. Obviously, like I said, we've got cruise control and we've got the assisted cruise control, ACC. And what's nice to see on the new 1300 kind of lineup is you've got like a function memory button. And that's on the top left hand side. You push that once and there's different options of what you can choose it to remember. So we've got the options of ACC, heating, DTC or damping, and basically you just go through and you pick which one of those you want. So let's choose damping. So now on the left hand side there's 2 arrows up and down. Whenever I push those arrows, they will go to whatever I chose in that function button menu. So I push up and down, and there you go, I can now change between my road and dynamic suspension. That's very useful when you've got the bikes with the electronic windscreen, because that's going to be your quick action button to adjust the height of the windscreen. And that's pretty much it in the way of tech. For me, this bike is that perfect balance between having enough tech to kind of keep you happy in this day and age, but it's the engine that steps up and makes you want to buy this bike. And that's why I think people don't think about it when they're looking at their naked bike option. Obviously BMW got the S1000R. For me, the S1000R and the S1000XR are just both too vibey. Like, horrendous vibrations that come through the pegs and the handlebars, to the point where a few years ago I did actually break my camera phone because I took it out when I had it on the handlebar, and the vibrations messed up the camera. Whereas this 1300 engine, it's lively, it's pokey, like this thing shoots you off, but there's no vibrations. Like, if the S1000R and XR could have this level of vibrations, they would be amazing bikes. But fortunately for me, they don't. So they're not. Like, the XR on paper, something that's comfortable, can do touring, and as a weapon, on paper is my perfect bike. The reality, it's too vibey, and I wouldn't have it. Whereas this is definitely something I would own. When I move away from the big touring adventure bike, and I want something for Sunday fun and something that can do some touring, I should get some form of luggage on the back here, this may make an appearance. Now, coming in at 239 kilos, it's one of them. It's not the lightest, but then also on the flip side, it's much lighter than the other platforms with the 1300 in. Like, if you were to jump on the GSA 1300 and then this, you'd say they're almost different engines, because this is just so much livelier. But obviously that weight is going to have a massive difference on it. Looking at the handling, the flickability, it just is so precise. Drops in when you want it, flicks from side to side really nicely, even though it's got that big boxer engine sticking out from underneath. And you want a bit of fun, you twist that throttle and there it is, instant. So I'm in dynamic for reference, and these brakes are spot on. And then we got twin 310 at the front and like a 265 I think at the rear, something like that. Well, we've got the sports brakes on this, which is the Brembos, which comes in one of the packages. I will go through the different packages that are on this bike when we pull over. Yeah, I mean, one finger braking is literally all you need. Also, so far the seat is pretty comfortable. We do have quick shifter up and down. Like, it's a solid shift going down. You know you've changed. Going up, the shifter itself is a little bit stiff, maybe a little bit clunky, but the gear change is nice and smooth. Hopefully that makes sense. Slow speed handling, super easy. Got a nice turning circle on the handlebars. Throttle response, even in dynamic, really smooth. And you can just get it on and just have a tick over. Put it into rain mode. I mean, even in rain mode you can still feel that power, but it's a lot kind of more docile. Like, it takes its time to build into it. It's not so punchy. And then you put it back to dynamic, and there it is, that power slapping you in the face. Now, this bike, I believe, has only been in Dick Lovett less than a month. I think it was around the 5th of July it was authorised to be on the road from the dealership, and it's already got 521 miles on it. Now, sometimes I'll test demo bikes and there'll be like 100, 200 maybe, but this has got 500 in less than a month. I think it says something about this bike and about this platform. Do you know what I mean? The 1300s have been around what, 18 months now. Hopefully they've ironed out some of the niggles from the GS and GSAs, although on my way to Dick Lovett I did see a GSA 1300 stranded on the side of the road. For me, two parts about this bike are the best thing. The first one absolutely is the engine, it's the power, it's how it builds into it, and it just gives it to you straight away. And secondly is its comfortability, like its riding position, its stance. There's hardly any weight on my wrists. I used to own an Aprilia 200 V4 1100 factory, and that thing was basically a sports bike with straight bars. There was so much weight on my wrists, whereas this, there's next to nothing. But I'm still like kind of leant forward a little bit, almost in that like semi-attacking position, but I'm not on the wrist. So that means this is going to be perfect for those Sunday rides, perfect for those Wednesday after work. Pop out for a little bit, but also you could then do some touring on this. Now let's go find somewhere to pull over, we'll have a look around, and we'll talk about the prices of the other models and also the packages and their prices. One thing to note is when you are going around the corners, I've had to put my feet and my toes on the pegs rather than my feet. I ride duck feet a lot of the time, and then when I'm getting into the twisties and in the spirited rides, I'll then purposely raise my toes onto the pegs. And yeah, it's something you will need to do on this. It does feel quite low, and I was catching my feet on some of the corners. One thing I really like about BMW is Wales 20-mile-an-hour speed limits everywhere. Is their cruise control goes down to 20. I mean, it doesn't go any lower, but it goes to 20, which is a massive plus, and I'm in second gear. Whereas there's other bikes out there that, like Yamaha, you have to be in fourth gear, I think it is, and the lowest it will go will be like 28, which in this day and time just isn't low enough. If I'm in a 20, I want to make sure I'm going 20. Don't need no speeding tickets. Allow my cruise control to go low enough. The boys are back in town, the boys are back in town.
And here we go then, looking at the new R1300 R SE. It's got quite a wide dominating stance, even for kind of your stripped down and naked bike. Now yes, obviously it's got the large boxer engine sticking out over the side, but I think also it's got the tank kind of and fairing pushing out, and the tank's only 17 litres, so it's not the biggest tank around, but yeah, it's still quite girthy, should we say. Now let's talk pricing. So there's multiple different variations on the price. So the base are £13,200. This one with the SE being £15,500. Now that's going to come with the comfort pack and the dynamic pack included. So you are going to get heated grips, heated seat, tyre pressure monitoring system, luggage prep kit, gear shift assist pro, DSA, riding mode pro, and sports brakes. And as I did mention, this also has the touring pack on. So this has literally got all three packs that you can get, and it's the SE model. Or if you want the R1300R SE ASA, that's going to set you back £16,255. So about £3,000 difference between the base model and the SE ASA. One thing I am really liking for 25 is BMW have given you different colour options for the exhausts. So you've got your standard chrome headers and mid pipes, and then obviously the rear can, but you've also got the black chrome, which this is. Now this isn't the performance exhaust of the Acra can, this is just a standard can. They've tweaked it, they've styled it, and actually I think it looks really nice, and they've added in this black chrome to it. I mean, tell me that it's like it's split like this. Tell me what you think of the black chrome. I personally think it looks really, really nice, and it is something I'd add on to the bike if I was buying it, if it didn't come as standard. Probably doesn't, it's BMW. Nice to see on the low right hand side, just in there, we do have a DIN charging point, so if you hit any heated gear you can whack that in there. And then when you come to the left hand side of the bike, you've got passenger heated seat, so your passenger can get to that whilst they're sat there. Now this does have heated grips and heated seat as well, and that's going to be activated via that quick function button. There's a heating option, and then up and down arrow. Up does, let's say, heated grips, and down does the seat, and you can just rotate through 0, 1, 2 and 3 on there. I said the rear brake was 265, actually it's 285. So yeah, you got 285 disc and your lovely sports brakes. This has got a standard seat height of 810mm. Remember, I'm 6'1". I'm sat on it. I've got both feet flat on the floor. So a really nice kind of bend between my feet, my knees and my hip. The tank is shaped so my knees kind of just fit in nicely. Now, if you are a little bit taller or a little bit shorter, BMW got you covered. This can go on a low seat option down to 785mm, or if you want a tall seat option, 840mm. So you've got a real kind of wide range of height difference. So almost anyone can ride this. 785 would be a good height for Zoe. She's 5'5", and I think she'd enjoy this bike. It's keyless, and another thing I saw is actually there is a USB charging point bottom left hand side of the screen, so you can charge your sat nav, your phone, whatever it may be. If you are in the market for a fun naked bike, 100% you need to come and check this out. And if you think nah, I'd never own a boxer engine, come and test it. I think you will be pleasantly surprised of how this bike handles, performs, and it's just all round an awesome bike. Well, thank you very much for Dick Lovett for lending me this bike for today. If you do want to come and test it, head out to them in Bristol, and if not, I'll see you on the next one.